morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. To look over tube. Hope you're today. Hope you're feeling grand. All's well in your world. Hello there. Welcome to another episode of How to Play Like the Legend, Mr. Rory Gallagher, everybody. And today we are going to focus on theory. I'm going to teach you this. What the hell is that? I hear you cry. Right. What that is all 5 positions of your pentatonic scale coming out of the key of D minor or F major. We're going to call it D minor though for the ease of use, because when you start using majors it gets a bit confusing. So let's forget that. It's 5 positions coming out of D minor, and I'm going to show you it up and down the neck. And the reason I'm going to show you this early on in this series is because this is key to understanding how Rory played and to play like Rory, because Rory played a lot of up and down the neck. There's every now and again he'd stick to pentatonic boxes, but you see Rory a lot if, like, you know, like for instance in shadow play or anything, I Wonder Who or anything like that, he plays up and down the neck. He plays across the neck instead of just, like, you know, like in a box. So what I'm going to teach you today are all the notes you can use that Rory uses. This is every note you'll ever need to do a solo in the style of Rory Gallagher. It's just a matter of getting them in the right order and the phrasing after you know where they are. But knowing where they are is the start of it. You need to know where they are, otherwise it's not going to work. So today I'm going to teach you from first fret to last fret, all the boxes, all the notes, unlocking basically the key of D minor. So basically this is the keys to the kingdom. Basically, once you get these scales and these notes under your belt, the whole guitar is open to you. You know exactly what the notes that work are, because no matter what happens, these notes work. Okay, so yeah, let's get to that, shall we? So I'll move a camera in a little bit closer, and we'll get to we'll get to teaching, learning the 5-position pentatonic scale with added notes as well. You could say they're modal. I'm not, you know, because they technically are, some of them. But anyway. So yeah, so let's get to it, shall we? So let's start with D minor. We'll start there and we'll move up the neck and then we'll move down the neck. Okay, so let's go on with this. Okay, so let's get to it. We're going to start with D minor pentatonic scale. Why D minor? I hear you cry. Simply, a lot of Rory's tracks are in D minor. It seems to be kind of one of his favourite keys, and it's a real nice key to kind of span the neck. And if you get a backing track for like Shadow Play or Bad Penny, you know, D minor is a real nice key to kind of solo in. So yeah, so let's get to the first shape, the minor pentatonic D minor. So I'm sure quite a lot of you will probably know this, but for people who don't, the minor pentatonic scale is this in D minor. So you start on your root note, which is a D, on your 10th fret on your low E, 13th fret on the low E, then 10th fret A, 12th fret A, 10th fret D, 12th fret D, 10th fret G, 12th fret G, 10th fret B, 13th fret B, 10th fret high E, and 13th fret high E. So the whole scale, do it Django Reinhardt style. Descending, exact same shape, just backwards. Okay, so that's your minor pentatonic scale. That's D minor pentatonics, and that's the building blocks of any blues rock guitar solo, full stop. You know, that really is it. So other notes we can now add to that. We can add a flat 5, which is the blue note. It gives you that flat 5 Purple Haze kind of thing. And this can be used, but it's better to use it as kind of like a passing note. If you kind of, you know, you don't really want to be kind of like starting a solo with that. It'll sound pretty terrible. So the flat 5 is a note we can add, but very sparingly. Don't add that all the time. And Rory would very, very, very rarely add the flat 5. It was in there every now and again, but not really. But for this, he does use it, so I do want to show it. So now we've got this. scale, the G, B and E strings, you can add that flat 5 in again. So you start on the 10th fret on your G, 12th fret G, and then 13th fret G, which is the flat 5 again. So you got those 2 flat 5s now. So your scale kind of looks like this. And then descending. Okay, and Rory would use them every now and again, but they were used as passing notes, so just bear that in mind. And when I show you the little diagram thing at the end of the video that I've drawn out, they've got X's through them, which basically means you can use them, but use them sparingly. Find out when and where you can use them. Don't just go off kind of like going, oh, I can, just use them all the time, because you can't, because they're not very nine-interval. Anyway, the other notes we can add to the D minor pentatonic are this note here and this note here. And what these notes do is they basically turn the bottom half of the scale into a full major scale. And it's an F major scale. So now adding those two notes in, which I'll show you. So you get your pentatonic scale with the blue note. And once you get to the 10th fret on your B string, you want to go 10th fret B string, 11th fret B string, 13th fret B string, 10th fret high E, 12th fret high E, and then you end up on your 13th fret high E. And you can hear that major scale. And the bottom half of a minor pentatonic is a major scale anyway. It's just minus those two notes. So now you have your basic box minor pentatonic, but you also have your flat 5 blues note, and you also have your F major scale at the bottom, which you can use. So your scale is now this. Okay, so that's it. That's your D minor pentatonics with extra added notes, and it's technically when you're playing the F major, it's technically kind of like a mode. It's kind of technically Ionian mode, I suppose it would be. But but I don't know about that, and let's just stick to what we're doing at this point in time without confusing matters. Okay, so that's D minor pentatonic with extra added notes, and Rory would use them extra added notes all the time for kind of a. And you can hear that blue note in there, and you can also, you get that real kind of classic kind of blues lick. But Rory would do that. And so you can hear those kind of like Rory kind of sounds in that scale, and that's just your first position. Okay, so that's the first scale we're going to learn today. We're going to move on now to an F major scale, and that's going to be down here. So let's go on. Okay, so we've got our D minor pentatonic scale with extra added notes and the F major scale at the bottom. So we got that. Now we're going to move up here, and we're going to play an F major pentatonic. So the basic F major box is this. So you can start out on your 13th fret on your low E, 15th fret low E, 12th fret A, 15th fret A, 12th fret D, 15th fret D, 12th fret G, 14th fret G. I need to learn to count. 13th fret B, 15th fret B, 13th fret high E, and 15th fret high E. So really slow, it's this. And descending, again, exactly the same thing. Okay, so that's your basic box. That's basically the, like, you know, that's an F major pentatonic scale, basically. You know, that's it, without extra added notes. So now, what we can do is, we can add in the extra notes. And basically what we're going to do now is going to start fitting together the jigsaw puzzle that is the neck, because they're all different shapes and they all fit together, like, perfectly. So, with the F major shape, on the top strings, the E, A and D, you can now add this note and that note. So now you have this 12th fret A, 13th fret A, 15th fret A, 12th fret D, and then you have your 14th fret D, and then 15th fret D. And it's exactly the same as it was here. So you got an F major shape there, and you got an F major shape here, and it will get confusing. So I'm going to try and keep it as straightforward as I can. So I do apologise. But so yeah, so that's that. And then the bottom half, we're kind of going to leave the same, as there's not really a great deal to add there, to be honest with you. You can add the blue note in, but we've already kind of done that with our minor pentatonic. So, and again, what I'll do is at the end, I'll show you this little diagram I've drawn, and what I'll do is I'll just leave it, and when I show you it, just like pause the video, and you'll be able to kind of, like, you know, see all the notes and the shapes. I've called them all in, hopefully it'll make sense. So yeah, so now we have our D minor pentatonic scale with added notes. Then we have an F major pentatonic with added notes. And so basically we're kind of like there to there, and we've basically fitted together these two kind of weird looking shapes. So it's kind of, the minor pentatonic is like a boxy kind of shape with a bit missing, and the major scale is a box with a bit that fits in the minor scale that's missing, if that makes any sense. They're kind of like, it's kind of like, if that's kind of like, hey, rock sign, yeah! But if that's kind of like the minor pentatonic shape, it's like that's the major, and it just kind of like fills that gap and links everything together. Hopefully that makes kind of sense. It can get a little bit confusing. So, just to recap and really slow, so this is D minor and F major, and these are the building blocks of everything. Then F major. So that's those kind of those main kind of scales right there. So D minor, F major. Now we're going to move on to position 3. So position 3 now is this, and this is kind of going to add, you know, the next kind of level, so to say. So we're going to start on the 15th fret on the low E, and then we go to the 17th fret low E, 15th fret A, 17th fret A, 15th fret D, 17th fret D, and then we go to the 14th fret on the G, then the 17th fret G, 15th fret B, 18th fret on the B, and then we go to the high E string on the 15th fret, and then we go to the 17th fret, high E. to finish. So really slow is this shape. Okay, and this shape has extra added notes that are really kind of make this shape very pleasant to kind of play, especially if kind of like, you know, for a fast run. It's really, really cool, and a lot of guitar players use this shape, and I'll show you it now. So that's your basic bog standard pentatonic shape. Okay, so that's it. So that's all you kind of really need to learn, you know, for that, and then you can add these extra notes in. So now, adding extra notes in, we're going to nick bits of the F major pentatonic, and you'll start to notice how these scales overlap each other. Notes from the D minor pentatonic will overlap into the F major, and the F major notes will overlap into this position, and then that position will overlap into that next position, and you'll start to see how notes start to fit together, and so you can flow from one position to another position by using these certain notes, instead of just kind of going. Instead of kind of like it being like that, you can. You know, you can kind of create these melody lines out of it by using these extra added notes to make them flow from one position to another. Okay, so we have that shape. This is like technically for like the third position, we're going to call it. So now what we're going to do is two notes, the E and the A string exactly the same, so 15, 17. But when we get to the 14th fret on the D, we're going to add that in. So instead of just playing 15 and 17, we're going to play 14, 15, 17. So, and then the exact same pattern on the G string, 14, 15, 17. And instead of doing this at the bottom, we're going to go, so it's 15, 17, 18, 15, 17, 18 on the B and the high E. So now we've got this. And one more time, really, really slow. And then descending. Okay, so yeah. And this is a real nice kind of run if you kind of want to do like little fast runs. You know, it falls on your fingers nicely, this shape does. So, and like I say, you're going to start seeing notes overlapping. I think I've already mentioned that. But like, you know, you'll notice notes overlapping from the D minor pentatonic. They're going to overlap into the G, to the F major, and the F major is going to overlap into this shape, and this shape is going to overlap into the next shape. But like I say, those notes just serve to kind of like to drag you through the shapes instead of kind of switching from one to another. They become one instead of just kind of using loads of different ones. Okay, so the whole thing together so far is this. So starting in your D minor pentatonic. With extra added notes, that's your D minor, F major. Then your next shape. So basically we've gone from there to there, and every note that I played there will fit over a D minor based song. So for instance, if I kick on my backing track for Shadow Play and I play those scales up and down, it's going to sound very unmusical, but you'll notice all the notes will work. The flat 5 will sound odd, So I'm going to play it quick as a kind of a passing note, which is what kind of it should be used as. So let me click on the backing track and I'll show you what I mean. You can kind of hear there how they work, and then you can kind of start making solos out of them. So if you start in like F major, you start to create kind of like those kind of Rory Gallagher-esque kind of melodies. You can kind of hear it in there. I was playing really flat then, just so you can kind of like hopefully kind of hear those kind of those scales. But like, you know, as you kind of like learn them, you know, you can kind of get a flow better. And that's just kind of like, you know, that was really boring and not very good really kind of playing. But hopefully it'll give you the idea that all these notes will work. And like I say, instead of having different scales, you have ways to go into each other. It's like 5 positions of Pentatonic Scale. It's like having 5 different rooms, and you got this room, you got that room, you got this room, and you got this room, and then you got this room. But you've got no doors, so you go from one to the other just by kind of like transitioning. So you go from that one to that one, or that one to that one, or that one to that one, or that one to that one. With these extra added notes, it gives you the ability to put a door in to go from that one to this one and then that one to that one seamlessly without having to open the door. You know what I mean? So the doors are already open, so the doors aren't shut, if that makes any sense. I know it's a weird, bit of a strange kind of way of wording it, but that's what these extra added notes will do, and they'll kind of give you the ability to kind of flow up and down the neck, and it'll start to give you a bit more, like I said, a bit more flow. And it'll start to kind of like give you the ability to see the guitar, not necessarily in just blocks and shapes. Well, no, not just blocks. Sorry, so to say. You'll kind of see them as shapes, and you know, once you see them as shapes, you kind of can't get lost because you know where you're kind of going, so to say. And then it becomes second nature, and you just play without thinking and looking. Okay, so we've got our first position, second position. Third. So let's move on to pretty much the last position we can get on a 22 fret guitar. No, 21 fret. No, oh no, I'm confused now. 7, 8, 9, 20, 21. Hooray, there we go. I can count everybody. Aren't I clever? Okay, so yeah, on a 21 fret guitar like Rory's, you can only get a certain weight. If you have 22 frets, excuse me, I've got that written out as well, but your 22nd fret will just be the start of a D minor shape, so you'll be able to use every fret. Okay, so where are we? So next shape we've got is going to start on the A note on the 17th fret. So this is the basic minor. This is the basic pentatonic shape for the next scale. So we're starting on the 17th fret, going up to the 20th fret, and then the excuse me. Then it's the 17th fret again on the A string, 20th fret again, A string. Then we go to the 17th fret D, 19th fret D, 17th fret G, 19th fret G. Then we go down to the 18th fret on the B, and then we go to the 20th fret B, and then we go to the 17th fret high E, and then we go to the 20th fret high E. Okay, so that shape really slow, just its bog standard box pentatonic with the door shut is this. Then descending. So that's your basic pentatonic shape of this position, the next position along, position 4. Okay, so one more time, just for look, everybody. Yeah, just to kind of be quick. But that's your next shape. So now, adding the extra added notes we can add to this will make it even more versatile. And like I say, we're going to start nicking notes now from position 3 to position 4. And again, that's basically opening that door from position 3 to position 4. Instead of the doors being shut and you have to go from one to the other and close the door, and once you're in that position, that's it. We're going to open the door, leave it open, and we're going to nick some notes from position 3 so we can transition into position 4 seamlessly. Okay, so the first ones we can add is this, which is a cool one. So it's basically adding the 18th fret on your low E. So 17, 18 and 20. And then you go down to your A string, which is 17, 19 and 20. And then the exact same thing again, 17, 19, 20 on the D string. So far. And then just the bottom bit will be exactly the same. Oh, apart from that note which we've nicked from position 3. I really hope this is making sense. So the whole scale at this point in time, position 4 is this. I don't know what is, but anyway, position 4. And then descending. Okay, so that's basically it. This way, we have gone from the 10th fret all the way up as far as we can go with a 21 fret guitar. So if you got 22, like I say, your 22nd fret is just a bar. You can basically play all the notes on your 22nd fret. Okay, so yeah, I might grab a 22 fret guitar actually in a bit and show you that. So now linking all these shapes together, this is what you get. So starting with a D minor, F major, then your G, which is position 3, and then position 4. Yeah. Sorry everyone. Missed that blue note. Anyway, apart from my dodgy mistakes, everybody, that is basically unlocked the guitar as far as you can go, like I say, with a 21 fret guitar. With a 22 fret, you basically just have an extra shape you can add. But I'll talk about that later on. I'll go and get another guitar with more frets, and I'll talk about that. So, but Rory had this many frets, so yeah, that's what we'll kind of stick to at this point in time. So that's the entire thing. And one more time, kind of quick. You know, you've got all those shapes, and like I say, you hopefully you'll be starting to notice notes overlapping, and you'll start to see kind of like there's almost kind of chromatic kind of runs coming in as well. There's a chromatic run in basically position 2, the major scale here, which is basically, you know, you can kind of use. But anyway, regardless of that, let's forget that right now. Those positions now have opened the fretboard from the 10th fret to the 21st and the 22nd if you've got it. But as hell, I'll talk about that later on. I'm digressing again. Stop digressing! So yeah, so now we have this entire section learned. We have the shapes, we have the notes that give us the ability to go from one shape to another seamlessly, instead of kind of like going from one shape to another shape, from one box to another box to another box. We have the notes that gives us the ability to apart from my mistake, I got carried away. But you know, you can kind of see, you can span that neck. You can span the neck from 10 all the way down and then back again, because you've got all these notes that start to kind of like I say, they all become seamless. The doors are open. You've just got to kind of walk through them now. You don't have to go. You know, you don't have to do that pentatonic thing. You've got the ability to. You've got the ability to flow, basically. And one thing I will say is, now that you know this, you know the other side of the D as well. So now you know this side of the fretboard, where my finger is, you know from there downwards, you know this side. Because it's just a mirror image. You know, that fret there is that fret there, and that fret there is that fret there, and that one there is that one there. So you know all these shapes. You just need to move them over. So I'm gonna show you position 5 now, which happens here. Okay, so yeah, position 5, position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, but I can't get position 5 on a 21 fret guitar. You can get it on 22, but you can't get it on 21, sorry. 25? Where did that come from? You could definitely get it on a 25 fret guitar. Anyway, yeah, so position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4. Position 5, which is your final position, is this. And we're gonna, well, and this is basically your final position, but we can't use it down here if you've got like a bog standard Strat like this. So it starts off on your 8th fret on your low E, 10th fret low E, 8th fret A, 10th fret A, and then you got the 7th fret D, 10th fret D, G string 7th fret, G string 10th fret, 8th fret B, 8th fret. No, sorry, 8th fret B, 10th fret B. I had to think about it for a second. Sorry, everyone. 8th fret high E and 10th fret high E. So Django Reinhardt style. And this is basically the shape I can't fit in because technically I'm missing this fret here. I hope that makes sense. So the notes we can add to this shape are this one, the 9th fret on the G, and also the where are we? D string? Yes, D string. D string on the we can nick we can nick the note from we can nick some notes from the 4th position now, so we can do this shape. Okay, so that's position 5 with added notes. Its bog standard shape is this. That's kind of door closed, if you will. Its open shape with door open is this. Okay, so that's position 5. That's all your 5 positions in D minor. So that's all of them. So you've got position 1 here, position 2 there, position 3 there, and position 4 there. We can't get position 5 down here because we don't have enough frets. So position 5 is here. You know. So that's that one. Now, from position 5, counting back down, we're going to move back to the position 4. So position 4 again is just this. So 5th fret start, 6th fret low E, 8th fret low E. Then we go down to A strings, 5th fret, 7th fret low E. A string, sorry. Then we go the 8th fret, A string, 5th fret D, 7th fret D, 8th fret D, and then we have 5th fret G, 7th fret G, 6th fret on the B, and then we have 8th fret B, 5th fret high E, then we have 6th fret high E, and then we finish up on the 8th fret high E. I'll tell you what, counting frets and being dyslexic is hard work, I can tell you that. That's why I always get kind of mixed up. Okay, so that's position 4 again. So position 5 again is this. With the doors open. Position 4 is. Sorry, I added another note there which I wasn't supposed to add, sorry. Making a lot of mistakes today, I do apologise everybody. Thinking and playing is not my forte, I've got to say. So, position 5, position 4. So the whole thing together now, like, say, from D minor, F, so, and then back down here. And then back to position 4, exact same shape as it is down here. Days today everybody, I can't play the guitar. Okay, and you can actually add in that note in position 4 actually. So position 4 basically and then down here. Using those kind of notes from other scales to, like I say, transition. Like I say, that's what it is. And hopefully you'll start to see these transitions, and you'll start to be able to kind of, like, say, move through the shapes. Instead of kind of going from one to another, you move through them. Okay, so that's position 4. Position 3. And say position 3 is exactly the same as it is there. So, but we start on the 3rd, 5th on the high E. 3rd, 5th on the A, and then we go to the 2nd fret on the D, 3rd, D, 5th fret D, and then we go to the 2nd fret D, G, sorry, 3rd fret G, 5th fret G, and then 3rd fret B, 5th fret B, 6th fret B, high E string 3rd fret, high E string 5th fret, high E string 6th fret. And again, these notes, you can use them to link. So that's position 4 into 3. And it's a key, all this, I know I'm kind of like not really talking about Rory much, but this is a key thing to playing like Rory, because Rory's solos had a flow. And he would do things like... see all those patterns that I've just shown you in that solo. They're all there. I'm not using any different notes. I'm using all the notes I've just shown you, but they've got a flow, and that's why I'm teaching this. It's key to playing like Rory is to unlock the entire neck. Okay, so yeah, so we got that shape, which is position 3. So moving on to position 2, which is our F major final shape. Again, exactly the same as it is here. Oh. You know, it starts on the 1st fret, low E, 3rd fret, low E, then we have an open A string, and then we have the 1st fret A string, 3rd fret A string, and then we have an open D string, 2nd fret D, 3rd fret D, open G string, 2nd fret G string, then it's 1st fret on the B, 3rd fret B, 1st fret high E, and 3rd fret high E. So that's it. That's the whole neck. That's all you'll ever need to know. Because hopefully, once you kind of get these shapes with the extra notes and the doors open, sorry, so to say, you can be able to transpose them to different keys and unlock the guitar neck using the minor pentatonic as your bass. And I'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. But, okay, so, the whole thing together now, if I start at F major and work my way all the way up, hopefully you'll be able to kind of see, and let's hope I don't mess this up like I have been doing. My God. Like I say, counting frets and being dyslexic is not an easy thing. Okay, so, making excuses now, Dave. Get on with it, boy. Okay, so we're going to start off with F major, as that's the lowest scale we can get on this guitar. And we're going to move all the way up through position 2, which is the major, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to start back on position 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 to the end. Okay, so, F major shape. Position 1, position 2. No, sorry, position 2. Start again, eh? Position 2, everybody. Yay, got it right that time. Position 3. Okay, position 4 now. Itchy face, sorry. And position 5. And then position 1, minor pentatonic. And then back to F major, position 2. And position 3 again. Position 4 again. And that's it. And you'll notice here, that's the back end or front end, depending on which way you want to see it, of position 5. So all those kind of notes there will basically are position 5. So you know, so that's basically a position 5, but you can't really get there without having that extra added fret, which I'll show you in a bit. So that's it. That's scaling the entire neck using these extra added notes to give you the ability to flow between them, and they all overlap and they all click together. As basic pentatonic boxes, they're like a puzzle. Like I said, if that's your minor pentatonic, your major pentatonic fits together like flush like that, and they all fit together perfectly. But with these extra added notes, certain notes overlap and give you ability to flow between boxes. So if I do it again kind of quickish, starting on position 2, your F major. Wrong note again. Oh, it's a wrong note day today, everybody. Okay, but that gives you the ability to span the neck, and then you can literally, once you get these shapes and these notes in your head and logged in, you can literally go. You can just span the neck, and once you can do that, you can start to kind of get into that kind of Rory Gallagher kind of flow, like you can start to kind of build up these shadow play Bad Penny-esque kind of solos just by using those notes. But one thing I will say, it's really important, is to feel what you're playing. You've got, you know, if you're just playing those scales up and down, that's not really going to create anything. You're just going to get. It doesn't do anything musically. It's not there. You need to kind of be able to kind of like use stops and starts, and that's a whole feel thing that will develop in time. It's not something that can be really. I don't think feel can be taught. It has to be learnt through experience. But kind of like, instead of it being kind of boxed like that, you are. And you start to get some of those kind of like little licks I talked about in the first video kind of happen. But that's it. Like I say, you can start to add all of these kind of Roryisms, like I think all those kind of like double stop things, and there's the standard kind of blues licks. You can start to see where they come from. And then you kind of have a place to go. So instead of just kind of going, you know, being stuck in that D minor pentatonic shop? Interesting. Shape, David. Yeah, instead of kind of like being stuck there, you can kind of go. Because you know where you're going to go, and you know, eventually you'll know what it sounds like, and eventually you'll know what it sounds like so much you'll know where to go to say what you want to say with it. You know, if you want to kind of like, you know, be really, you know, kind of aggressive with it, or really screamy with it, you know where to go. So, and Rory Gallagher's solos all come out of all those notes. You know, rock guitar is in all those notes. That's your entire guitar. That's all you'll ever need to know. I promise you. Studying guitarists as I have studied guitarists, that's all they use. Just these shapes with these extra added notes to, as kind of like the ability to flow from one shape to the other. That's all it is. So that's it. So basically, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you. I'm going to basically put the camera on to this little diagram I've drawn out, and I'll show you that. I won't get another fret guitar because I compensated. I drew the little diagram as 22 frets, so you'll be able to see it. So what it is, well, I'll put the camera on it and I'll explain. And basically, what you can do then is just pause the video on the screen, and you'll be able to see it. So yeah, so that's it. That's unlocking the neck, Rory Gallagher style, in D minor. And like I say, once you know that, you know the guitar. Once you have this under your belt, you know it. You know, everything falls into place. If you use your minor pentatonic as a starting point, yeah, if you know your minor, your minor pentatonic, if the song's in A minor, you know your next scale shape. And then you know next and so on and so forth. So you can navigate the neck regardless of what key you're in, just by, because you know. But yeah, D minor is a big key for Rory because he played in D minor a lot, and it's really cool to play on tracks like Shadow Play and Bad Penny, and A Million Miles Away is great to play along to, and just get these shapes under your fingers, like with a backing track for Shadow Play. Just learn the shapes, get a backing track, and then just feel it out. So like this. So backing track away, and then start to feel out these shapes. Start with your minor pentatonic. You can start to really, with a backing track, just especially if you've got a looper or a backing track that never gets bored, it's the best thing in the world. You can start to navigate the neck, start to get a feel for it, start to get an idea, and start to hear those Rory Gallagher-esque melodies popping out. Especially if you've got a Rory-inspired backing track, it will force them to kind of pop out because you'll be in that mindset, so to say. So yeah, I really hope that's explained that. I really hope that's kind of like, I've been thinking for weeks of how to do this, and this is the best way I've come up with, so hopefully this will work. So let me show you this diagram quick, and I'll explain what it means, and then that'll be the end of this video, and I really hope it makes sense. I hope the whole thing of like, with a minor pentatonic, a pentatonic box is a room with the door closed. A pentatonic box with added notes give you the ability to open the door, leave it open, and transition from one room to another without any problems, and one scale to another without any problems. Okay, so let me show you this diagram, and then we'll call it a day, everybody. Okay, so this is it. This is the guitar neck up to a 22nd fret from the first, and this is obviously open strings here. So anything past the first fret is open strings. But this is the diagram. So here, the blue scale is your minor pentatonic shape with the extra added notes, and the notes with X's through are not necessarily notes you really want to be playing. They're kind of used as passing notes. For instance, like that note there and that note there are flat fives, and this is the chromatic note, and that's also a flat five, and that's also a flat five. So they're kind of like, you can use them as passing notes, but you don't really want to be starting or hanging on any of the notes with an X in them. They're not pleasant. So this, say, starting at your 10th fret here, this is your minor pentatonic shape with the extra added notes, and this is your major pentatonic with extra added notes, including a flat five and a kind of chromatic kind of shape there. And then you've got position 3, position 4, and position 5, and then the blue there is the start again of position 1, your minor pentatonic. So hopefully it makes sense. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 with a 22 fret guitar. With 21, obviously you can kind of cancel that one out, and that's what you get. So, and then the same thing goes this way. So you've got position 5, 4, 3, and 2, and then like a little bit of 1 here and there. And also these notes here obviously come out of position 1, which is your minor pentatonic. So, so this is the entire guitar neck. That's all the shapes. You can start to see these notes. These are the basic minor pentatonic. Hopefully this might explain kind of like a little bit better than what I've shown as well. But these are the bog standard shapes, and these are the extra notes. And with these extra added notes, you can flow. So you can go like that. So instead of kind of jumping from one to the other like that, you are literally just going wee up and down. So hopefully this makes sense. Hope this little diagram makes sense. And I say it's color coded. I thought if I color coded it, you'll be able to see the patterns emerging. So yellow, yellow, purple, purple, green, green, red, red, blue, and blue. so you can kind of see how it repeats and where it repeats. Okay, so yeah, that's it, everybody. I hope this diagram is useful. Like I say, just pause the video at this point. If you kind of like, you know, if you want to copy this down, or you just kind of like want to leave it on the screen and kind of like, you know, just and mess around with it, so to say. But like I say, this is all coming out of D minor, everybody. So that's your root there. 10th fret on your low E is the root note. That's the D. That's the D note. Okay, so yeah, that's it, everybody. That's the entire guitar neck in D minor. Really important to learn Rory Gallagher's style and his solos, because he flows between them all the time. And Rory's got such a gorgeous guitar soloing flow. It's really important. So that out of the way, next Rory Gallagher lesson, I'm going to teach Bad Penny, and that's when we can start putting this into practical use. So learn this as best you can, and I will see you very, very soon for another video. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope it's made sense. I hope it's been useful. I hope it's been informative. And have a great one, everybody. Goodbye now.